What is going on, YouTube? I am here with my bestie, Amanda Hahn, who is going to teach us all about taxes, saving money, paying no more than you have to the IRS. Right?
I did not know I was your bestie, but happy to
today,
accept.
not everybody's my bestie.
This is my favorite Matt outside of my Matt.
I was telling you before that we bought this suite down in Burlington, North Carolina, and we're going to be doing this cost segregation study on this property. Okay? But first, what's cost seg? Why do people do it? It's a funky name. Why? What? Who? The whole thing.
Yeah, cost segregation sounds like a big word. We call it cost seg, like the kids call it that. So basically, the IRS allows us to take depreciation on rental real estate, including multifamily. And the reason we are able to take depreciation is that the IRS feels like there's going to be wear and tear on the building that we buy, and because it's wear and tear, we get to take some tax revenues, right? Traditionally, when you have rental property, anything that's residential, you have to write it off for 27.5 years. Whatever the purchase price of the building, divide by 27.5, that's how much paper write-off we get.
That is the IRS's lucky number.
Yes.
27 and a half.
Got it. And so we can write a building off over 27 and a half years, regardless of whether the property actually appreciates value or depreciates. So that's our step one, that's the benefit.
Okay.
What cost segregation is when you have the property, and you hire an engineering firm to come and look at your property. So they're saying it's not just a building that I bought for $1 million. This building is made up of a bunch of little different components. So there's specialty plumbing, there are drywall, there are cabinets, there are countertops.
There are
a lot, right? Especially in multifamily, every property has toilets and all that. Or every
quite a few.
Yeah. And what cost segregation does is the study to break out the components. And once the engineer breaks out the components, then we as CPAs take faster depreciation. So instead of 27 and a half years, we're saying part of this building is plumbing, air, cabinetry, flooring, but 5 years, or 7 years, or 15 years, and basically takes faster.
What are some examples of things that I can't write that are like that have to get written down over 27 and a half years? So give me like a few real components that are like, what if you want to put 5, 7, 15, and the 27 and a half? Or even no, I'm curious what falls in those buckets.
Yeah, a lot of specialty things like electrical, plumbing, specialty plumbing, counters, appliances that are part of your multifamily.
Like sink fixtures, right?
Yep, fixtures, furniture, fixture, all those items.
Yeah.
And we actually, the way I think they typically do is they do it backwards. So they don't say what's not eligible, they say what is eligible. I'm $1 million. Here are the things that are eligible and whatever else I cannot classify.
So
it's just
if it's on this list, then it's in then there, and then pretty much everything else that's not on the list goes over the other
buildings.
I see.
Exactly. And what's really interesting too, I know multifamily, I know you guys do rehab it, right? We're trying to improve on the property.
Yeah.
So it's really important that when you rehab it, capture your rehab costs as well. So for rehabbing, you're doing a lot of things to the property that may also be eligible for faster depreciation. So you don't always have to wait 27 and a half years to write off.
Yeah. And okay, I don't know is an acceptable answer to this question, but so one of my students was asking me the other day if paint itself, like let's say the paint on the walls in my apartment, is that something that applies to it? Because we debated it. I said, I believe that it is. And he says, I believe that it's not, because when I paint my apartment, that's going to just get written down in the bottom line as a line item expense. What say you? What say you on paint?
Typically for paint, we just expense it because it's sort of part of maintenance, right? We have to maintain the property. And that's a common misconception. People are like, wow, do I always have to do a cost segregation study? I just rehab my property for $200,000. Do I have to do a cost segregation study? And the answer is no, it depends. When you are doing your capital properties, you already know the details of when you spend money. Hopefully, if you're a good property owner, you already know. So you can just provide that information to your CPA, and they can do the accelerated depreciation. When we talk about cost segregation study, we're talking about the building itself. When you bought, you don't really know what's in comparison to the building, unless if you're also.
And then there's beyond that, it's not just the 5, 7, 15, right? Currently, I'm able to accelerate these things. Can you help me unpack that for my brain?
Yeah.
So it's accelerated depreciation. Help me.
Yes, when it comes to tax planning, we like to add strategies on top of each other. So the first strategy is just write off the cost. The second level is like just make faster depreciation. So do cost segregation. And then the third layer is how can we make that even faster? Earlier she said there's some things that we'll write off over 5 years or 7 years.
Yeah.
So if it's $100, I'm gonna still write that off over 5 or 7 years. But currently there's bonus depreciation. And bonus depreciation just says that if there's an asset that's 5 years or 7 years or 15 years as defined by the IRS, then maybe we can write it off immediately or part of it. So right now, in this year, it's 60%, which means it's a $100 item. I can write off, for $100, I can write off $60 immediately, and then the rest I write off in 5 years.
Let's go take a virtual tour of this property.
I want to take an actual tour.
But I can't fly you to North Carolina. I'm gonna bring this whole show, the magic internet box and all that. I'm gonna pull all this and our viewers here. I'm gonna take it to North Carolina. I'm gonna give you a tour. Poof! Amanda, here I am in Burlington, North Carolina, giving you a quick tour of a 20-unit apartment building that we just purchased here in Burlington, North Carolina, using the magic of 1031 exchanges with one of our investors, right? So let me give you a quick tour. It's 20 units, like I said, Burlington, North Carolina, right across the street from a bunch of amenities, including shopping, and the highway's right over there with the guards, and they can shoot on that highway, get to all kinds of jobs. And it's probably about 15 minutes away from downtown Raleigh and about maybe 30 minutes away from downtown Greensboro, both big growing economic hubs for jobs, employment, those kind of areas, right? So these are 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath apartments, all of them. There's a few different layouts, but they all rent for around the same, for anywhere between, say, $1,400 on the low end to $1,600 for the ones with the bump out, because that turns into an extra dining room or maybe like a nook or just living area or whatever. And some of them have bump outs on the side and that. So ranges around $200 swing in rents, and we're doing very well. Investors very, very happy with this apartment complex. I'll take you guys through the insides as well with a little bit of a tour for only one of these 20 units is vacant right now, so I'll give you guys a quick inside tour. Hey Amanda, quick tour on the inside. So big open floor plan. I love open floor plans, Amanda, on stuff like this, because it is flexible living space. Tenant could make this, that little nook over there, that could be like a homework area for the kids. This could be an area to watch TV, could be a little just a sitting area and stuff like that. They could do dining over here. It's just, again, open floor plan, look, all the way down there. This is all possibility that the tenant can have here. So new construction provides a lot of opportunity for openness and for just living options the tenant may have. Of course, new construction, Amanda, you want to have washer dryers in the apartment. Tenants love it, landlords love it, because you're going to get a tenant that can afford to have a washer dryer in their apartment. It's a great living amenity for tenants to have. Heading upstairs, we've got, as I said, 2 bedrooms, there's a half bath downstairs, and there's 2 bedrooms up here, perfect for a young family. And got a private bath off of this bedroom here, and probably kids room, but certainly big enough. This is probably about 12 by 12, maybe 12 by 10, big enough to get a bunk bed in here for 2 kids or just 1, or maybe just a roommate, whatever you want to do. But our tenants are really loving this property. We've had no problem leasing anything out. This apartment's leased already with somebody moving in this week into this unit. So quick tour of a property that we bought using a 1031 exchange from a third-party investor that wanted to join us as a passive investor in our ventures, and they didn't want to sell the property that they were in and have to go and be an operator on the next thing. They wanted to level up and enjoy the benefits of a 20-unit apartment building without having to learn how to run a 20-unit apartment building themselves. So something we know how to do very well. They had the equity from the sale that they were generating to roll over into this through a tenant in common trade through 1031, right? So they had a piece of the dirt, legally tax it, 100% tax incentives and legal for them to be able to do. So they were able to sell what they had, take their equity and roll it over into this. And through CPAs like yourself, they were able to learn how to transfer all that over and not have any tax burden at all. Hope that's beneficial. Back to you, Amanda. See ya.
Thanks for the tour of the apartment building. I think it makes so much more sense when you do a walkthrough to see what's actually in the apartment.
Brilliant.
Thanks for joining us. I am Amanda Hahn with Keystone CPA.
And I am Matt Faircloth with DeRosa Group. Talk to you guys later.